Let's break this down. So, starting really with the Qs, right? This is a big deal. You guys have been hearing me complain about 269 for the longest. So, 269, this is the range break here on the Qs. I said coming in to say it kind of sucks about the timing, just with all the earnings, and then we do have FOMC tomorrow, Fed speak tomorrow. So kind of sucks with the timing, but this is all Qs has been doing. Qs has not been over 629 since Halloween, right? So every time we push into this, we just reject. So this is a big deal. We'll see, right? If we can hold. If we pull back a little bit during market open, I'm not going to be too surprised because technically, right, we will have a gap, right? We gapped up. So if we open at 629.05 and sellers want to just come in, right, fill the gap a little bit, we bounce here, right, bounce here and then push up, I wouldn't be too surprised. Another thing that I'm really focused on as well is SPY, right? Because SPY's back at all-time highs. So wouldn't be surprised if it did that, right? I hope it doesn't. I hope we can get above all-time highs and stay to the upside. But that is something I will be watching as well. And even here, right, SPY gapped up, but it's sitting right at the previous day high. The close watch coming into today is going to be Apple, right? Apple is showing me some relative strength here, coming into market open compared to everything else. So if Apple wants to pull back to 256.80, that's fine. Why? Because we gapped up. This is the previous day high. So we ended up gapping up here. Apple's been on a crazy rip. So it's either going to be a pullback long off of 256.80 or a break and retest. This is a weekly level as well, which will be a gap and go play. So that's something I'm watching there. AMD is a little bit heavier, right? But we do need some deeper pullbacks here, and then nothing on NVIDIA. It's just sitting dead smack in the middle of the range. So we'll see what's up there. Open. Another thing is Apple's IB as well. That's something that I am watching. It does have earnings this week. Okay, so seeing a pullback here on the market. See if Qs can actually get above this and hold above it, I should say. 30, 40, 50. Yeah, video is just being a video. There you go. So the thing about Apple, like if AMD sets up, most likely going to take AMD just mainly due to the IV here on Apple, right? Roughly 50% is pretty high on Apple. Its average IV is like high 20s. And we do not want to get crushed by the IV. So, right, we expected that coming into this week just due to earnings. So, see what sets up here. It's a very big wick here on the video. If this thing can get up to 189, I like it. Yeah, this 250, 290 here on AMD being respected perfectly. Yeah, this IV is just climbing on IV. I'm sorry, on Apple. It's my only thing. So for Apple, right, that's pretty high. And I don't want us getting crushed on the IV, which means if we get into the trade, as soon as it goes in our favor, contracts won't really do much. Right? Like Tesla has earnings tomorrow, so you can see this IV sitting at 80. That's very high compared to you can see the average being around 50, low 60s. Yeah, it's about a 20% increase here on roughly a 20% increase here on Apple's IV. So pretty unfortunate. Like I said, we really need Qs to like hold above this. If it wants to come fill this gap and then do that, okay, that's fine. But we'll see. We got to get out of this channel though. You can see it's kind of been the story here for NVIDIA. I'd love us to get out of this. This is the big setup um, on NVIDIA if this can occur. And then we do have Fed speaking tomorrow, guys. That's another main thing. So if the PA is pretty much trash until Thursday, that's pretty much normal, to be honest. I don't expect hedge funds to be in some heavy positions until after that, or big banks as well. Okay, breaking under the previous day low here. Let's see if either we bounce this and then get over 252.90 or it just needs a deeper pullback. Uh, AMD is the one that really needs one, to be honest. You can see here, I know we went over this, all these daily candles. This thing has just been on a crazy rip. So we have so many key levels that need to be retested. So we'll see. I know this name is on a crazy rip. Look at the weekly candle from the last 2 weeks, just straight upside on AMD. So it definitely needs some pullbacks here. So Q's looks a little bit heavier compared to SPY, but it still is filling its gap. So I will want to see, okay, can Q's bounce off this previous day high? And this has been such a key level here, just key rejection. Right? We're trying to hold it as support during pre-market. You can see to stand heavy. Let's see here. All right, so AMD is 100% in sync um, with the market. It's definitely in sync with the market. Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it's expected, right? The IV being elevated. That's why I always preach, right? We got to know the average IV of the names that we trade, because really the average IV on Apple is like mid 20s to like high 20s. So this is a very big increase, right? Don't want to get crushed on that. Right now, seeing if Qs can hold the previous day high, which doesn't really seem likely. You can see the only name that has relative strength compared to everything else is Apple. It's the only one. See if this holds. So coming into today, I was also looking at MU, switching this up a little bit. I liked that this was a key level and the previous day high. So I was looking for this, right, targeting up here. But as you can see, we ended up getting that pre-market, ended up gapping up all the way up to all-time highs. So of course, we're not going to enter a trade at the top of the range. So MU and Apple, right, had a big pop during pre-market and gapped up tremendously. And Apple really seems to be the only one that's like holding the strength compared to everything else. Look at that. Okay, so yeah, SPY and I'm sorry, NVIDIA and AMD, both of these names are in sync with Qs. It's pretty. Let's see if this thing can hold. Like I said, if SPY wants to pull back, I'm not too surprised. Because SPY is already right sitting back near all-time highs. Like it's already sitting up here, falling under the previous day high here as well. Would love to see Qs hold this. Slightly elevated. AMD, there's a little bit. Some videos. Okay, and the video looks on just fine. So for those who don't know, Feds, like when we do have FOMC, that can also actually spike the IV across the board. So excluding Apple and Tesla, obviously, since both those names have earnings this week, yeah, like Tesla has earnings tomorrow, and then Apple Thursday after market close. Some of these names are a little elevated than usual. Like AMD, I'm watching. We'll see if this sets up. Like it's IV sitting at 70, which is that's decent. Typically it's mid 60s. So I'm cool with touching AMD if it gives us a setup here. Okay, so this is really what I wanted, right? Fill the gap. We kind of just drew this out on the dot. So I wanted this to fill the gap, right? Hold this, and then give us something like this. So like I said, if we want to open and stay heavy, that's normal because we're just filling the gap here, market balance, and then hopefully we can reclaim this 629 and then continue higher. And you can see the domino effect in that with, right, AMD mainly. So if AMD can give us this setup, I do like it, right? V-shaped recovery, be breaking over the high day and over our key level. Yeah, buyer stepped up very aggressively here. That's exactly what you want to see. So that's what we did. All we did was fill the gap. Now let's see if we can just actually hold this, right? Or sellers is just going to continue to defend this and push this thing down. So far, playing out to the T. Apple looks good. AMD's heavy. Let's see if AMD can reclaim this. Some clear relative weakness here on the video. NVIDIA pretty much has to fill this thin volume. We pretty like this happened like crazy out of nowhere. We were flirting right with our key level here, and we just like gapped to the top out of nowhere, and that kind of led to this consolidation. So kind of still need this pullback long off this 183, which is at the bottom of the range. Right, so something I'm still looking for. As you can see, was resistance, right? Turn support, and then we were looking for this coming into market open, and then it just ripped to the upside. So the video is just in the middle of no man's land. So, mm, okay. I know we have orange photo news at 7. We'll see if that can do anything. Main focus here is really just AMD. We'll see what sets up. I know we can after Fed speak tomorrow, things should be pretty much back to normal at least. Yeah, NVIDIA has ways to go. Ways to go. See the correlation that I'm finding here, if I like this setup on Qs, you can kind of see that it's pretty much in sync. I would want Qs. You see Qs, see AMD. These two names are pretty much identical, right? They're in sync. Look at that, in sync. So the only way I would go long here on AMD if this sets up, right, is we need Qs to pretty much do the same thing, right? You can see that. So watching Qs here as well to my right hand. Some relative strength here on SPY. SPY is breaking through the high day. Fun of it. I want to see what this is doing. Okay. I'm pretty biased here on Tesla. So we'll definitely see what happens during earnings. All right, SPY's pushing through the high day. Hughes is flirting at the top of the range. But yeah, Jason, I remember you and I were talking about this, and I got in around here. I remember this like yesterday. So what is this? This is around, yeah, September. And then I got in like right, yeah, it was like September, anywhere 5th through 8th. And I like that we were breaking out of a consolidation period. And I went in very heavy long term, like at least a quarter million. And then we ended up getting this crazy pop, right? And then I was like, oh man, this thing looks really, really good. And then we just started consolidating. And then when we were sitting up here, I'm like, oh man, should I? Should I not? And I was like, no, I trust Tesla long run. And then right, we ended up pulling back and I'm like, well, it's still intact. I got it way down here. So I'm very curious to see what happens during earnings. Very curious to see what happens during earnings. The market is moved by two things, hope and fear. So I didn't want to sell at the top of the range. So I'm like, everyone's going to be selling up here, right? And market structure is still intact. So I want to see if we can, get a pullback and continue higher. We're still holding structure, but I was like, man, we're pulling back very heavy. So we'll see what happens. I might make a decision. Um, Thank you, man. Yeah, it was crazy. I just remember that the main reason, and I bought it based on a technical analysis play. And the main reason was like, okay, cool, we're breaking out of a channel here, a consolidation period. And I'll be happy about these 2 days. I did not expect that to happen. And we just had like straight upside. So I was like, oh man, this looks really good. So I just had to turn the other cheek and let it play out. So uh, crazy. Apple's just been on a crazy rip. Crazy rip. I, dude, I'm telling no one was my eyes were glued to Twitter during that whole thing. I was like, man, what's going on? Like, can you guys be friends now? So it's definitely good news. Definitely good news. What a crazy time. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Let me see if Hughes can get over that. It's definitely relative shift on SPY, but that's always been the case. So SPY is ripping, breaking through the high day here. Crazy V-shaped recovery here on AM, I'm sorry, on the video as well. Okay, so we broke on Qs. Let's just see if we can hold. One thing I am being cautious about too, because I know SPY is what's really been moving the Qs, is SPY approaching this all-time high and then sellers kicking in at the top of the range. So we'll see. All right. This V-shaped recovery is why you trade with a higher time frame. Right, I taught you guys we never chase the morning downside. Rule number one, you always want to be on the right side of the fence. So I'm definitely watching this here on AMD. Market's pushing pretty strong right now. This is all we're looking for over AMD, 252.90. I want to see if we can blow through this high day. All right, so this is the break. We still got to retest this to see if we can hold, or it's just going to be so strong, one or the other. It's a big RR here on AMD if this can set up. All right, was resistance over here, held a support, kind of just consolidated yesterday, and then I'm looking for this today. Also would be a break over the high day. So it's a strong key level being respected, which I do like. Right, was resistance, broke. Right, we ended up holding. That led to the top. Choppy yesterday, so we'll see what sets up right now. Like I said, I'm just reading this because I want Q's to not give us a high day rejection. I understand these two names are in sync, so I definitely need Q's to hold this. SPY is just ripping, just crazy. Very nice V-shaped recovery here on AMD. Price action's already better than yesterday. Looking at the 255 calls, one strike out of the money. The delta is 47. Volume and open interest is there, so I like it as well. Obviously, I'm going to wait here for more displacement. Okay, nice on Q's. So like we broke down a while ago, I said if this thing just breaks out and doesn't give us a retest, not surprised because there's so much built up liquidity. So much built up liquidity. So we'll see. Our main focus here is just AMD. It's the only one sitting at our key level. Would have loved Apple on a gap and go, but the IV is just it's high, but it has earnest this week. And then Nvidia is no man's land. Okay, solid breakout here on the Qs. Solid breakout. Right, like I said on Q, this is our last key level before all-time highs. Look at that. So I mean, this played out perfectly. We drew this on the tee, right? We pulled back, we filled the gap, held the previous day high, right? Market structure, market balance, and then now we're just getting this breakout here. So I mean, that was on the dot there on the Qs. It's nothing in its way until all-time highs, roughly a $8 gap. So IV dropped a little bit on AMD, which is good. That's what I want. It's not too crazy. And that's what we want to see. I like to see reactions at my key levels before we kind of get a setup, right? So it tells me we did our job, found some key levels. That's being highly respected. So let's just see. Yeah, crazy. This is a big deal on Qs. We'll see what happens when Fed speak tomorrow. As we know, news invalidates technical analysis, but things all good. If all things go well, we could finally see an all-time high here on Qs. Right, bullish buys here on the video. Right, just a morning squeeze is what I typically call it, and then crazy, right, V-shaped recovery. Right, on the dot, key level being respected. So things look good. Things look good. Of course, we're going to need a much bigger breakout here on AMD before we can go long here. Yeah. Low day here was 247.96. Right now we're sitting at 252.90. So um, nice bounce. But this is what we needed to see from Qs. Right? We needed Qs to finally break outside of this range. This is like such a big deal. I'm just hoping that, days moving forward, we can just hold above this and then turn that channel into support. Because then now we can start to see a lot of continuation on our plays. Like Nvidia looks great, right? It's crazy V-shaped recovery. If this sets up over 189, I like this too. right? Like we got some names, stuck in channels. So now that Q's is out of that, hopefully, right after Fed speak, of course, we can just start to see that as well. Like NVIDIA, great example. You can see just stuck in here, right on the weekly after this nice trend to the upside. As soon as we get over 192.95, right, that's our range break, right? We're finally outside of a channel. So kind of got this bull flag setting up here on the weekly. Looks really good for our next dip higher. Okay, check on the dot. So of course we're bullish bias on AMD. As you can see, the last 2 days really just been flirting, right? This has been our key level the last 2 days. It's 252.90. Yesterday and today. Yesterday just wasn't ready, and then right now we're flirting with it. Really just need displacement. Like that's the most important thing. Like NVIDIA looks really good. NVIDIA was really my A plus watch as well coming into today, just because this 189, right? Over the previous day high as well, such a key level that's just being respected. Nothing in its way to the upside. It's a good shot here on the video. Yeah, that's a good shot. Let's see if we can set up here. We should be back in action on Thursday. Yeah, Fed speak tomorrow. Back in action Thursday. Orange photo news just came out. Let's see what's set up here. Uh, All right, so all our key levels being respected on the dot here. Let's see. Yeah, Q's is ripping. That's good. Let's see, what do I cover here on NVIDIA? And NVIDIA looks the best right now, just price action wise as well. Sucks we dipped a little bit at open, but looks the best right now. What I like about Q's breaking outside of this channel is it's just clear skies ahead. So I'm not really worried about going long on a tech name and really approaching some overhead resistance. It's nothing in its way. So here's sets up here. Definitely need a little bit more displacement here on AMD. Nah, still need displacement here. It's gonna be patient, hold our water. Like I said, this thing's in sync with Qs, so big pullback right now on SPY and Qs. The video looks really good. Oh, I mean, look at that. This thing's only had one down close candle since we got that low day bounce. Video looks really good. So one thing I like about AMD right now is I'm actually seeing relative strength on this name. Qs and SPY is pulling back pretty heavy. Right, that's Qs. Look at SPY pulling back very heavy. Like I said, I expect that on the SPY. It's sitting near all-time high, so I can expect a little bit of selling pressure to kick in there on the SPY. We'll see what happens with Qs. We did break we did break our key level here, but it does still need to retest it, so it could possibly just be doing that. Still got to retest this, so we'll see. So right now, what you're seeing is a break-in base, right? That's not showing me buyers have really taken over here. I need that, and then okay, then the retest. So we'll see. But I will say I am seeing some relative strength around AMD compared to the Qs. From a technical standpoint, this is really our displacement, 253.40, right? Focus on the body of the candle. So yeah, barely a 50 cent. Okay, looks good here. I would love for this candle to close. It's got a couple of minutes here, or seconds. All right, so this should close the top, which looks good. Okay, nice. So now we're just waiting for the retest on AMD. I can't let FOMO kick in. The bigger the displacement, the better. Yeah, this looks good. Just waiting for that. Same trade as yesterday. Just waiting for that. Looks really good. Once I start to see a pullback a little bit, I can call out a strike price. It would still be 252, but price is elevated right now just because we're ripping through. I'm in the video. Man, this is good. This is exactly what you want. Right? So this is what I'm saying, where it's like finally we broke outside of this channel on Qs, and now you can see the difference of that. It's a big deal. So like I said, start of the day, kind of crappy timing, but all our tech names having earnings and Fed speaking tomorrow. But after it's all said and done, I just hope when news pass that Qs can just stay above 629 and then turn that entire channel into support. Let's see what sets up here. Okay, what I like about NVIDIA as well is it's not extended. It's not too extended. I'm just gonna round that to 188.50. Yeah, so far about $2.80 on NVIDIA. So NVIDIA sets up, I like this as well. This is a big deal. Right, this is over the previous day high, top of the range break. 100% worth that shot for me. It's an A plus shot if this sets up. Yeah, that looks really good. Crazy V-shaped recovery. Just what you call a morning dip and rip. Just dip and rip. Perfect. Since we're not too extended, it kind of depends here. We'll see what sets up on the video. If it's not too extended, I do like the 190 calls. Yeah, the open interest is 100K. It's just crazy. So yeah, yesterday's a good example. Like typically I would say, hey, 8 times out of 10, we're gonna win on trade. So yesterday, AMD just wasn't ready. But you can see it's still the same key level. It's the same key level. Today, just cleaner price action. But um, Q's breaking outside of his channel on the daily and the weekly. That's a big deal. So that's pretty much what we're seeing here. Great rejection here off our 261.85 on Apple on the dot. Seeing that. So I love to see a reaction before that. Okay. I'm looking at a video here too, guys. It would be the 190 calls on the video. Got about a minute here until this candle closes. Still watching AMD. Still watching AMD. AMD would still be the 255 calls here. Just because that's one strike out of the money. Originally it was 252.50. 255. Yeah, that's a good target. Tends to high there. You can see this wick on the video here. Such a key level, this 189. Waiting for this. My stop loss should be 252.50. Market hasn't even been open an hour. So far, it looks good. Price action looks clean on these names. You can see price action is definitely cleaner today on AMD compared to yesterday, as you can see. So just really waiting for that. Even if we get like a deep enough pullback, like the 253.16 or something, I'm still willing to take my shot here on AMD. Still an inside bar day, but I would like for this to gravitate towards the previous day high. We already swept the previous day low. And look at that on the dot, body of the candle. So we have a 15-minute foreman above our key level, which is exactly what I want to see. So I need this candle to close. Looking at the 190 calls here on AMD. I'm sorry, on NVIDIA. Pretty much got a 50-cent breakout here. Still looking at AMD here. 255 calls AMD. Just need a deeper pullback here. More displacement here on NVIDIA. It's good because I wouldn't want that to be a liquidity grab. Basically sweeping that previous day highest liquidity and then just closing back under 189. So still watching AMD here. 255 calls. And then for NVIDIA, it would be the 190s. Preferably AMD, just because that gave us more displacement. So right now my priority is AMD. I'm watching that. 255 calls AMD. It's the one I'm watching. I do like NVIDIA, but I wouldn't mind waiting for more displacement on that. Like I said, it could just be a liquidity grab on NVIDIA. Our key level here for AMD is 252.90. Right now, sitting at 253.40. So definitely need some tighter risk here before I take the shot. Like even if we can get something like right here, I'm fine with taking the shot. Can't let FOMO kick in. Always got to think about the worst. What could happen? And you can see in the video trying to retest that, but look at the difference between this displacement and this. We've only got a 50-cent breakout here on the video. All right, and that's why. Bigger the displacement, the better. Because now this sets up, at least we got to swing high to target and see, okay, can we hold this, continue higher, right? So I'm trying to read the correlation between Qs and AMD. Watching AMD here. Okay, I'm long AMD. I took the 255 calls on AMD. That's our retest right there. So see what sets up. Like that's the retest. So we'll see what sets up here. I'm long though. Took the 255 calls. I like that it has relative strength right now. Cons are moving a little decent. I'm up 3% right now. Yeah, I like that 15-minute. Yeah. Took our shot, and that was the retest. So what happens here? Slightly pulling back with the market, but it is showing me a little bit of relative strength compared to the market. So you would have got 252. Hmm, let's see. I mean, that was a retest. It's a good shot. I like that this has a swing high to target. Cons are holding pretty well. I'm up 4%. So the name is trending. It's definitely trending. All right, that looks good. Cons are up 6% into that push. You guys know me, trading the chart, not the P&L. Kind of just want this to play out. Just worth the risk for me. We'll see. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's not our job. See, the thing that I'm noticing about this is I'm not really too worried about the market, but slight pullback, but like there is relative strength on AMD compared definitely to SPY and Qs. And then there's a little bit of relative strength here on Qs compared to SPY, which is what I'm noticing. Looks good. Contracts are up, at least for me, 6.60%. All right. Now my contract are up. Nice. It's a good trade, guys. It's a really good trade. Cons are up 8%. Yeah, it's a solid trade, guys. Cons are up 10%. So if you want to look to take some off there, by all means. If we push into that again and reject, I'll probably get out. Cons are holding their value pretty well. Those cons went up to like over 10% there. So it's a green trade nevertheless. Cons are sitting at 6% right now for me. So you can hold, scale accordingly, however you want. It's a green trade. See, the reason I'm holding is Q's finally broke this channel. So for me, that's like such a big deal. I'm not being greedy here. That's really like my main thing. It's like Q's is no longer in a range. So I'd rather just take my L if I get stopped out. But market looks good. So winning trade nevertheless. So ignore me, guys. So it was the break and retest. Those contracts went to 11% on that pop through here. So if I get stopped out, so be it. Um, Still a great trade, nonetheless. Holding pretty well. Bonds are back up 6%. Like I said, for me, it's just mainly because this is the first trade in a very long time where QQQ has not been in a channel. Just hasn't been in the channel. So I'm just curious. Like I said, those cons are up like 11%. I'm still green on my position, but I'm trying to see like, okay, cool. Can I finally get this continuation? It's mainly just what I'm looking at here, guys. Mm. Now, we'll give AMD this for to be playing out of the money. Well, it's only one strike price. Cons are definitely holding their value pretty well. Like I said, it's a Tuesday, right? So Mondays and Tuesdays, theta really isn't a thing. I'm just trying to see what occurs here because SPY and Qs are pushing. It's the thing, they are pushing. So you guys know, I'd rather take my L. I'm curious to see. Like if we get this pushed into this 252.22 again, 254, excuse me, 22 and reject, then I'll get out. But it's the first time where, Qs doesn't have a resistance level on its overhead. And we're just out of a channel. So this is kind of just like my idea here. Yeah, like Qs is breaking through the high day right now. And it just made a new high day. So big rip here on SPY. I've accepted the risk here. So it's a great trade. I like the trade. It's a really good trade. Pawn's moved really well. Bullish bias. I got the market in my favor. It's funny. Sometimes you start to start to see things in your own head, like, oh, okay, this is a bull flag. Whatever makes you feel comfortable in a trade. So I'm like, oh, maybe if this can break above this, we can get this rip. Okay, we'll see. So we found a pretty decent intraday resistance level here, which is being this 254.22. She is in SPY, like definitely trending, and SPY is just like ripping. Qs actually have way cleaner price action than the SPY as well. If this is boring, guys, that's a really good thing. Trust me, it's a really good thing. I hope you guys see what I'm seeing here, or if this makes sense. Oh, like right now, my cons are up 5%, but as you guys know, I pretty much manage my trades based on market context. So, and then right at the end of the day, as I always say, as long as we're above our key level we're risking off of, everything else is noise. That was a quick 11% just to there. So, the market's moving. AMD's just being a little stubborn. Just got to get over that. Man, 252.90 is such a strong level. Look at that. I thought it's crazy. Did our job here. And then also, like, I definitely want you guys to get into the habit of, trading your chart and not your P&L. Because as I always say, right, the market comes in seasons. And once all these names start trending and this and that, this is how you catch, right, those big, nice, trendy days. So, even though I was green here, right, I don't really care about that. Like I said, the only reason I really held this is just because, well, Q's is trending and it broke outside of a channel. Good displacement, right? You got the break displacement, got the retest here and here. Trade for a while. So if momentum wasn't a little too slow, something that I normally do, because it's all a mindset, right? It's how you receive the information. Something I normally do is like to add to my position. Because when we approach our stop loss, some people see it as like, oh, it's scary. I see it as an opportunity to add. Like I said, as long as I'm above 250, 290, my thesis is correct, right? My trade is still valid. So everything else is noise. Cons are holding very well. I will say that. Like I'm up 3% still after all this. So this thing can just give us this break out of here. I'd like to see us like do something like that. Q level did his job. Like QQQ is literally trending. Like beautiful price action. Okay. Cons are back up 5%. Okay. You guys can look to get out here if you want. It's a solid intraday resistance level. It's a solid intraday resistance. I promise I'm not being greedy and stubborn. This is just all based on market context, right? Break and retest over our key level 250, 290. It's a daily level. SPY and Qs is trending. Qs is finally outside of a channel. So for me, it's just the environment. It's just the market context of everything else going on. Like I know AMD is not going to move like Tesla or something like that, but for me to see like it do its job and hold pretty much 3 times here, I'd rather just wait and see like, okay, what can play out here? I'd rather just take my L. SPY, right? That just broke. So SPY just made a new all-time high at 696.10. Mm. Yeah, solid intraday resistance here. Mm. I'm just waiting. It was hot trade, guys. Like just focusing on one chart, the environment of the market, practicing good habits. Mm. 2 days now. That's a grind. Golly. we did our job. Like this 250, 290 is such a key level. So, right, if we get stopped out for a loss, if you gotta understand like the difference between, hey, a good loss, right, and a bad loss. So to me, it's a really good loss here if we lose this trade. Like contracts being up, 11% here. We're holding this good stop loss placement as well. Those are all the little things that matters, right? Every trade you take, you want to be practicing good habits. So, like I said, for me, kind of just letting this play out. I think for all that, Collins are holding pretty well. I'm only down 2%. So I like the entry point as well. That's really the most important, right? As I always say, the deeper the pullback, the tighter the risk. And then, of course, if you guys like got stuff to do, work or whatever, I would definitely signal this out, like so stayed in, got out, etc. We'll see what happens. So yeah, buyers are definitely trying to defend this 250, 290. We can see that with our own two eyes. It's definitely trying to defend this. Yeah, 2 days in a row now. AMD has had us sitting and waiting. That would suck if this thing just wanted to like chop until that would, like I said, if you guys got something to do, I would definitely signal this out, whether I sold for a dub, lost, whatever. Right, that's not a coincidence. That's three times. One, two, three, four times. Like I said, if we push into this and then we're rejected again, maybe. But the thing is, if you look at QQQ right now on your own, this thing is trending like very nice. Like we're already back in the green. Right, looking for that, or see if we can get a push into that. This is like very quick. This is very quick. Like I said, I'm not being greedy. I'm not being stubborn. Today is just the first time since Halloween that Q's has not been in a channel, been in a range. And then we're very bullish buys here on AMD. It's probably one of the strongest tech names. Um, right, we played the break and retest. Like that's our job. Whatever happens while we're in the trade, out of our control. I didn't care for the quick hit, 11%. It's a Tuesday, so I'm not worried about theta. It's a grind for sure. It's definitely a grind. I'm trying to see if we can get like some built up liquidity here on AMD and kind of get like a little blow off top. Something like that, maybe. Eight o'clock, 8:02 to be exact. Hmm. How do we get in here? I think it's here. So roughly 45 minutes in this trade, roughly. We shall see. One of these things as well. I mean, kind of jumping the gun here. Even if we base above this all day and it turns into a swing trade, I mean, so be it. We're on the right side of the fence here, with AMD. Hmm. It's definitely uncomfortable, right? Well, I can understand if it's uncomfortable, but I promise you, like you practicing these habits of like really trading your chart, not your P&L, letting price gravitate, letting the trade play out, that's going to help you over your next 100 trades. I promise you that much. Because you're going to cap yourself out a lot. If you look at your chart, I'm sorry, you look at your P&L, you're like, oh, I'm already up 10%. And you get out, and then it rips for 15, it rips for 20, right? And then that way, on your losing days, if you lose, it's like, well, that loss wiped out, your winning day. So market comes in seasons. Gotta remember that. So if we push into 254.20 again and reject that, might just have to like take the base hit. That's an if. I don't know yet, but what I do know is like, man, 250, 290 did its job. 100% did its job. I'm slight green on the trade. Like this should tell you how strong our level is. We just got a flush to the downside, and buyers still stepped up defending this. My longest trade in a long time. It's been a while. What did I do on the SPY and Qs? Kind of wanted AMD to follow this just a little bit more. So, we'll see if we can kind of like get that. If we push into here again, I'll readjust. I'm like slight green. My cons are up 3%. So, want the lesson here is you just got to let it play out because who knows? This thing can do that and then do that, right? You won't know. So that's why I'm very big on like I got to let the market, tell me what to do. I don't really decide what to do. Hope that makes sense. I've had plenty of trades right early in my career, years ago, where I'll get something like this and like we consolidate and then I sell for like a 3% hit. And then my trade actually ends up working out and playing out in my favor. And it was a 40% trade. So like market hasn't even been open for 2 hours. Right? It feels like forever, but it's still very early in the session. So it's like just having that patience, trusting what you're doing, knowing what you're doing. And then we just got to understand the name that we're trading, right? This isn't a Tesla, right? Where Tesla's going to rip on the underline or a $4 move on Tesla is going to pay 20, 25%. So to me, everything else just noise. This is all I'm paying attention to is my key level just holding every time. So I want to see, right, if we can gravitate towards that and do that. Right, we're back in the green on our contracts, assuming you got in when I did. Okay, cool. Look at this on the 15th. Yeah, it's pretty much kind of the same intraday resistance we had yesterday. Yeah, roughly around the same. I'm doing the same thing I did yesterday. Mhm. Kind of doing its own thing. Nvidia's pushing, making a new high day. Q's and SPY rallying, trending. Yeah, it's a grind. Huh. It's defending very well. Just the momentum just dying out. The video looks good. So the tech names are moving. Nice. Things playing with our patience for sure. Just trying. Looks good on the 15 minute. But if I show you this, give me one sec. Yeah, we're just basing right now. Who know? We could just do this, right? We really don't know until we know. We could just do that. Like I said, if you guys do have stuff to do, like I'll definitely signal this out and I'll at everyone just so you can get an alert. Oh, like this, actually, let me go here. Yeah, NVIDIA kinda. It's just basing right now. Yeah, AMD's doing its own thing. NVIDIA's ripping to the upside. See what happens here. Might cut it. Yeah. Well, I'm looking at this on the 15. Like it's definitely holding and wicking the 15. I'd say it's a 27. Yeah, nothing on AMD. Can't make this up. Let's see. Hmm. Might cut it here. Let's see. All right, I'm out, guys. Got out there. What a grind. It's a good trade. I like the trade. Just wasn't ready. Got out there. Because let's see. Yeah, it's the same intraday resistance on the 15. This exact same that we pushed into yesterday. It's the same thing today. Yeah, like on the dot on the 15 minute this wick. There's so much thin volume. It's like if we can get over this, there's nothing into way to the upside. It's the same thing. Like all our tech names, pretty green on the day. NVIDIA, yeah, NVIDIA, green. I don't think it ever gave us a retest. Kind of deep enough. Yeah, it's the same thing I was really looking for here on NVIDIA, right? I'm sorry, on AMD. We took that, right? Got that push through the high day, then that's your stop loss. So really like the trade. It was a good trade. QQQ. Like this is Q's on the day. Just crazy. Right? Just stair stepping higher. Right? Everything in our favor. AMD's just not ready. Well, I can't say that. Like it was a great trade. Those columns went like 11%, 12%, but still. And then like you can see, we got SPY just trending, right? Broke over the all-time high, turned this into support, still moving higher. So yeah, AMD, one side. Mm, that was a good stop out. Yeah, it's a frustrating one. It's a weird one because you can see on the daily, like we're green for now at least. We ended up getting this push, looked really good. Trust me when I tell you, like what we did today, like practicing that habit, easy, right? When 20, 30, 40% days, continuation days come. So I like the trade here. Like I said, I wasn't trading my P&L. I could have took the base hit. It's just not how I trade. Yeah, AMD's the only one that's just a little bit heavier compared to everything else. But we stepped through all that, which is crazy. So it was a good shot. So yeah, we'll see how this closes on the daily. And then I also like that we took out the previous day low. We reclaimed that, which means buyers typically push the price higher. So we're bullish on the intraday, on the overall day. Just got to respect the stop loss, but this is really what it was. You can see here, this intraday resistance on the 15. That's 2 days in a row, 254. Could not get above that. Who knows? This thing may do something like that. I mean, I'm done. I'm big on one and done. It's a great shot. I like it. Okay.